Hi again all. You might have guessed I'm in the comfort of my own home in this blog. I'm in the process of prepping all my gear up for a 48-hour session down in Northamptonshire, and I'm going to tie a few rigs up. I've been picking one or two people's brains on Facebook, and one or two that I know that fish the venue, and they tell me that the Withy rig is one not to ignore on this particular venue. So I thought, might make an interesting video. So I'm going to show you the components and the way that I tie my Withy rig. You've probably seen it all before, but you know, it might just make a bit more interesting video and viewing for you. So without further ado, let's crack on and let's show you what I use and how I tie the Withy rig. Okay then, so you'll see there a pile of components, starting with the hook, which is a Corda curve shanks size 6. Used this quite a few times, certainly this year. Brilliant hook, sharp, strong gauge, never let me down. Another product by Corda, just hiding behind the float stops there is the big eye swivel, Drennan float stops, some Drennan rig rings and some rig shrink tubing there by Fox. This is a really effective rig. Basically it's simplicity itself, mega easy to tie, and most importantly, big thanks to Steve Renyard, the creator. So let's begin. Let's tie the Withy. Okay, I've cut back around about 18 inches of the end trap soft, which is a coated braid, but I've stripped all the coating off with the use of the gadget you can see there, the reddish burgundy coloured gadget. That's a stripper tool by Corda. Now my theory is, with it being a weedy water and obviously presenting the bait in the weed, I don't want a stiff hook link. I want a nice supple one which is going to follow all the contours of the weed and hopefully make my presentation, you know, 100% presented the bait, and obviously giving me 100% confidence. The size 6 up there is just tied on with a grinner knot. So that's the first stages of the Withy rig. Moving on. Right then, stage 2, you'll see 2 more components there. The mini rig ring, which is by Drennan, and also the float stops, which is another product by Drennan. And all I've done there is simply feed on one of the mini rig rings up the shank of the hook and added a float stop. Now I like my float stops for my Withy rig just on the apex of the shank of the hook. When I mean that, it's just before it starts to bend round on the hook. Obviously the rig ring there is to mount on your pop-up, and also my add, if you're going to use this rig like the trod rig basically for long periods of time, if a bait's going to be out for some quite considerable time, you do need a really buoyant bait, and you can't get any better than a cork ball pop-up, and that's what I'll be using for this rig. So yep, we're up to that stage now. Then the next stage coming up is the stage where I'll add the shrink tubing, which will form the aggressive bend to form the Withy rig. So we'll do that now. Okay then, so we've taken our Fox rig shrink tubing, which is 0.8mm, and I've just fed that down the hook link over the eye of the hook. And now, I mentioned earlier I said bend, but actually it's going to form the curve, which is an integral part in the mechanics of this rig to work properly and efficiently. I don't do that by hand. I actually use another tool, which is another product by Fox, and it's their trod rig bin. So I'm going to go and grab that now, mount that to the mount the hook of the rig, sorry, to the gadget, and I'm going to try and show you that when I steam it over the kettle and how we achieve that aggressive curve. So that's coming now, folks. So this product in shop now by Fox is basically 2 products in one. You know, you can see those choddies on the left there. They're rigs that are steamed and got the aggressive curve by using this tool, and obviously I'm using the products as storage. So going back to the Withy, there's like a little bracket there, don't know if you can see that there, which your hook mounts on, and I've actually just wrapped the rig all the way around the product because I want a really aggressive curve from the shrink tubing on this rig, which will hopefully, and should do, make the rig work efficiently and to its full maximum when Mr. Carp comes along and hopefully waffles down my pop-up. So yeah, the rig's all mounted now, so the next stage is steaming, so I'm going to do that now. Okay then, I did actually attempt to try and film the steaming of this rig, or the shrink tubing I should say, but unfortunately the steam was just too ferocious and it was obscuring the viewing, so I scrapped that idea. But after steaming and using the tool that I showed you, there's the finished product, or the rig I should say. One thing I didn't mention in the components is a BB shot, which, there we go, I add just to the bottom of the shrink tubing, and that will anchor the rig in position. Unless it's a slightly bigger bait, then I can use a shot and mould a bit of tungsten putty around it. The pop-ups I'll be using in session will be 16 mils, same as the bottom baits. So a BB shot will suffice and do the job no problem. Obviously, before a rig's cast out to the chosen spot, I shall test the rig in the margin and make sure everything's honky-dory, and you know, I'm fully confident with it before I obviously cast the rig out, and I did that with most of my rigs, to be quite honest. And then all that's left to do after that is obviously tie on the swivel, and I'll probably steam the hook link to make sure it's you know, straight as a die, and obviously that'll add to the presentation. So there we go folks. I was tying a Withy rig up and I thought I'd just take this opportunity to make this small video. Probably something that you've seen before, but I just hope it's been a bit more enjoyable viewing for you. So I shall be using that in session, and hopefully it'll bring me a result or two. Only time will tell. So once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully next time you see me we'll be in session using this rig. Catch you later folks.